The CIA was in effect acting as America's hidden Ministry of Culture.
The hearing coincides with the release of 16,000 pages of declassified CIA documents about the agency's Project MK-Ultra.
While this document shows the CIA was working on the use of LSD and other drugs for unconventional warfare, evidence supports that the battlefield would include whoever opposed their racist pro-war agenda. Undercover FBI agent George Demerly was a leader of the Crazies. At one of their New York parties, the Crazies spiked the New York Weathermen's punch with acid. The Weathermen disavowed their stance against acid.
Stark was the biggest source of underground acid at one time in the world. The judge says that Ronald Stark, the evidence shows, has been an agent of the U.S. Secret Services from the 1960s on. Therefore, we cannot keep him in jail.
Cabot House at Harvard, I discovered, that's opium money.
Flying in arms to our allies, flying back out with the heroin. The first target being U.S. GIs during the Vietnam War, the second target being the United States itself.
Infiltration of cocaine into the Black Panther Party, its leadership, Huey P. Newton being the main target.
The head of the DEA at the time, Robert Bonner, said that a ton of pure cocaine worth hundreds of millions of dollars had been smuggled into the United States. And he blamed the CIA, saying the agency had joined the Venezuelan National Guard in drug smuggling.
So there's little known about his activities with MI6. He actually confessed to a jazz producer by the name of Alan Douglas.
And we know the FBI had a 300-page file on Lennon. Much of it remains classified for national security reasons. The doorman at the Dakota that night was Jose Perdomo, a veteran of the CIA's botched Bay of Pigs invasion, a professional hitman who worked closely with convicted Watergate burglar Frank Sturgis on the CIA's payroll.
I cannot think of a case in which I have had someone inject himself with a large amount of heroin and then proceed to kill himself. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. She offered me 50 grand to whack Kurt Cobain.
And he was openly told you that he worked for the CIA.
But later on, after he retired, he told me and wrote me a letter, and I have the letter. My daughter came along. Steve took care of her for me.
Now, we're speaking with Brother Tupac Shakur, who was the national chairman of the New African Panthers.
The Code of Thug Life is a revolutionary document. He began to broker the peace between these gangs.
I provided the chief with enough information and evidence.
Ex-Detective Poole resigned after 18 years on the force when he was prevented from investigating fellow police officers whom he believed to be involved in the murders of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur.